Hi guys, so the theme this week is childhood films or films we loved as kids. Yesterday Sarah talked for the whole video about one film, which was a big part of my childhood too, obviously us being sisters, but I'm going to talk through a few more in very much less detail. The first one, if you've been watching my videos carefully, there have been quite a few clues. It's Toy Story. The first film came out when I was 4 and I went to see it in the cinema. I went to see the second one in the cinema. I remember seeing them and falling in love with them straight away. I have a lot of Toy Story memorabilia, like the Andy doll and the jumper that you've seen, and also Pez's and the box set, which live in London, and these two cups which live here. This, which is a Woody cup with a straw, and this, which is shake it and there's glitter and stuff. These I both got, I think both of them, for my 20th birthday? Maturity! Another film I remember seeing at the cinema when I was a kid is Casper, which I went to see for my 4th birthday, and the vague memory I have is of I had a birthday badge which had a hedgehog in the background and 4, and I dropped it on the floor. It fell on the floor, probably fiddling with it, and I leant under my chair to pick it up, and as I did so I was convinced that I saw a ghost under my chair, and according to my mum I just lost my mind. I was terrified, just so scared of a ghost that apparently was under my chair. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't know what 4-year-old me was thinking. I don't know what was under my chair. I just think I lost my mind a little bit. But Casper, as a film, adorable, great. Haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I'm sure it's still great, unlike Toy Story, which I do watch quite a bit over and over again. Another film from my childhood that I watch over and over again, I have here on trusty VHS, The Parent Trap. So this film was one we watched at every single sleepover, every single party, just all the time. We'd always watch Parent Trap. Even if you look up the box of this VHS, it's a bit wrecked, probably just from how many times it's all chipped to the corners, just from probably excessive use. Still a great film. I can still recite pretty much all of it. But one of my memories from school is pretty much my whole year group crammed into one classroom at lunchtime watching this on video for some reason, and one of our teachers walked in, spoilers if you haven't seen the film but I'm sure you have, at exactly the moment where the twins are putting together the photo, and it's right down the middle. The whole room was just kind of chanting the words to that scene, and our teacher was like, oh my god, I've walked into some sort of creepy cult. So I feel like for a lot of girls our age, this is a film that kind of encapsulates childhood. And also, it's weird now to think of the fact that I was so amazed when I found out that these two girls were the same girl. Now we think Lindsay Lohan is infamous. The back of this VHS says, they're identical twins, both played by Lindsay Lohan! Exclamation mark. And I was like, oh my god! So shocking news for, I don't know, 9-year-old Abby there. So I was looking through our VHS collection, looking for one that I got given by one of my nursery school teachers when I left nursery school to start big school, so receptions when I was 3, 4, I don't know, which was The Jungle Book, which I absolutely adored as a kid, but we must have given it away to someone, I don't know who, but we no longer have a copy of it at all, which is strange because I swear we had 2 when I was a kid. But I found a couple of other classics, such as the Oliver Annie combo. I definitely watched Oliver a lot more than I watched Annie. I wasn't a massive Annie fan, but Oliver I was crazy for, and I always used to stop the tape just before, again spoilers, this is a massive spoilery video if you haven't seen any of these films, so I'm hoping that either you have or they've been spoiled for you anyway. You might have read the book of Oliver or seen the musical, to be fair. And just before Bill Sikes hangs, I absolutely hated watching that, so I'd always stop it just before. I'd also stop Titanic just before the boat sunk. I just think I couldn't really cope. But yeah, that's the classic Oliver Annie box. I think a lot of people had this. I think they still make this in DVD. I hope they do, because I want to get my kids this. I think this is a one everyone should have. On the same musical theme, Fiddler on the Roof here. And on the back of this video, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but just here, this is a scene that used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. For Rachel, this is a good description. It's like the spooky Mormon hell dream in Book of Mormon. I'm about 99% sure it's based on this scene. It is a spooky hell dream, but obviously not Mormon, more Jewish. There are kind of ghosts coming out from a grave, and it's all kind of psychedelic and crazy, and it just scared me. I think I was really easily scared as a kid. Sarah and I would always recreate Matchmaker from Fiddler on the Roof. Whenever we had to fold sheets, we'd do the Matchmaker song, which was great fun. It's a great film. It's a little bit lengthy, but I think generally films were back then. I was watching Sound of Music with some people who hadn't seen it a few years ago, and I realised just how long it was. In the back of this box says 173 minutes, so it is quite long, but I think you could watch it in a couple of goes. I think it's good. Good fun. So those were the films I watched a lot of. We didn't so much watch Disney. We didn't have Disney videos in English apart from the Jungle Book, which I only got because I got from a teacher. So we had the Aristocats in Hebrew. I didn't know the song Everybody Wants to Be a Cat in English until quite late in my life. We had Snow White in Hebrew, we had Bambi in Hebrew. So yeah, Disney wasn't actually a massive part of my early childhood films, except for in Hebrew. I still haven't seen Bambi in English, but I'm also not sure that particularly matters. My favourite Disney film as a kid was either Aristocats or Dumbo. I had a massive soft spot for Dumbo. Really big ears, bless him. And every time it's on TV I still love that. There are a lot of kids' films that I love now, but that I didn't watch as a child particularly and have watched since. So I am still a big fan of children's films. Wreck-It Ralph, great film. Up, obviously. Brave, anything that Pixar does. There are just great kids' films out there. And I hope that I never feel like I'm too old for kids' films because they're great. But in terms of the ones that made up my childhood, it was pretty much those. I didn't go into detail of any of them, but I hope it was a little bit of an insight anyway into apparently how screwed up I was as a child in some senses, but also how I spent my time. My good old classic videos. So until next week, bye!